There be light, and there was light. Words of the said God, Mother Eve. So here we are talking about the 14 gods. We invite the 14 gods, or when we say we invite, it's really raising our consciousness of their existence through us. That's what it's about. We're talking about the 14 gods. We are talking about the 14 gods of Genesis, and we are talking about Mother Eve, which is the said God, the soul God. I call them the three S's, and the set God. So the three S's, I have referred to them as silence, stillness, and solitude. Those were terms used for as anchor, or the anchor for manifestation in Think and Grow Rich. If I remember well, it's like the three keys you really need to master. So there we are here now, really emulating the Think and Grow Rich model in that sense. Well, are we? But we are discovering. But I like to be able to make reference to it anyway, because it sort of resonates with me, and particularly now it just seemed to come up. And it's a book that I have not read for a very long time. So it's very interesting that it's coming up, showing up now. It makes me wonder whether, was it Napoleon Hill or whoever, I think it was, the writer. It makes me wonder whether he really didn't embark on the three gods right here, the SSS. Of course, because he was quite a spiritual man as well. Okay, so we have discovered SSS, we have discovered CCC, the three C's, the three S's. The three C's, I think I just came up with compose, compress, and compound, or something to that effect. But very, very much sticking to the attributes of the three C's, in that they are called and created and caused. These are the three gods here. Now we are talking about the moved gods. So here I have outlined the numbers. These are the letters, and we are taking the first letter of each god, because we believe the first letter of the gods is what really sets the precedence, that sets the character, the main characteristic of that god. Because I believe that the first letter of the gods, or say for instance the moved god, this M is really giving a clear indication of nurturing, of maneuvering, of making or moving, or mountain, whatever it is, those M, but it's the functions. All the M words we can really relate to it in that moved. Hence, in the teachings of Christ too, where we learn, it says, if you have enough faith, of course, faith, I think, equals 8. Let's just do that. Let's not just say think, FAITH. So this is 8, 2, 9, 1, 6. Adding, this is 10, 20, 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. So if you have enough 8, if you've ate enough, you would be strong enough, which is what Mother Eve has taught us, how to eat of the fruit of good and evil, to get that balance. That's why Mother Eve has eight entries in her contracts, 8 contracts. So 7 have been attributed to the gods, we could say, and we see that the gods work in pairs, or they collaborate, we should say. They actually collaborate, and the 8th entry, which is the set, which is where the final one, where Mother Eve says, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. There it was said, and God made man in his own image and likeness. I have covered that crucial word own, and I think it leaves the reader thinking, well, that God in particular, who made in his own image and likeness, may have had a selfish attribute, or may have wanted to do things his own way. But we see that the word own is actually the word one, and it's actually the word now. And that's what that's what Mother Eve wants us to pay attention to. This now word, this now. And this all equals, each of them, it's 7. Of course, it doesn't change, so it's 7. So we can see creating man in our own image and likeness. We can see that everything we've accumulated or have learned or have valued, whatever it is important that we get to assimilate that now man that we are about to create. That present, of course, that's the word again, that is present. The word present actually is synonymous with the serpent. It may not show like this on your computer screen, but it is, according to myself and Mother Eve, that now is the serpent. It is present. Now is present. Serpent is present. And the present, that was the present in the Garden of Eden. That was the serpent was present, meaning there was I'm getting a clear image now that the serpent was moving up the spinal cord, and that was what was the Kundalini activation between man and wife. Hey, so basically Eve was having had a Kundalini rise, and was of course sharing that with her husband to have a Kundalini experience. Okay, so there we are with the word one, and it's the word now, and it is present. So we can see in our everyday language that the words we use are very crucial, and when we know the numerical value or vibration they carry, then we can use those words to our benefit, or to manifest in that which we want to, or for whatever reason we may desire. So there we are with the 2 moved gods. Now this is what we are going to explore right now. So the first God here has 5 letters. We can see that Mother Eve's presence is here as in the sacrifice template, which is central right here under the new column. This is where we often learn when you are in Christ, you are a new creature. So this is the position of that newness that we are talking about, and it's also the position of the serpent in the spinal cord. We are talking about Kundalini activation here. So of course, when we say of the serpent, we are also talking about, it could be termed as the snake. So the word snake also equals 5, and 5 is very much central here. Of course, the word Christ also equals 5, and when we, of course, you accept Christ, which we learn in Christianity, you accept Christ as your Savior. This is where you are being elevated into that dimension. We are talking about the 5th and the 8th dimension. Now, I'm not quite sure if I can really associate the 2 as in the same modality, but however, that is what saving is for some people. Now we've got these 2 moves, the two M's rather, because we are paying more attention to the letter M. M here, we know that that is moved. It is the M word we have talked about, which represents the mouth. The mouth is where we see symbolically that everything has taken place. And that is also very crucial that we learn about the mouth of course, which is through that modality that Mother Eve ate of the fruit of good and evil. So there we are, or the fruit of life, whichever it was, but we are seeing that the mouth is a representation of that. Okay, so we want to really look at the two M's. So we see that all the letters together, of course, comes to 9. And when we work out or sum the numerical value for the word 9 here, which is 5, 9, 5, 5, adding this together, this is 19, 24, 2 plus 4 equals 6. Of course, this is how we can also see that the serpent was present with the M's here or in this sum. So if we do the calculation for the word 6, which is often termed as sex number as well, which we can see here, 6, 9, 1. So this is 10 plus 6 is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. Here we are talking about 7 as in the serpent. 7, because this is how we see it written. It will be written in the scriptures. So this is 5, 5, 4, and of course we had 9, then we had 6, and now we have 7. On this third entry here, we have Mother Eve right here. Mother Eve deals a lot with number 3. Number 3 is the M, it's also the W, it's the E, and it's the 3. So we'll see how that plays out in a minute. So 5, 1. Adding this together, this is 20. 20 is foundation. I've got lots to do on 20. 20 is the number, of course, that where Mother Eve, of course, this is rock. It also says when Jesus was speaking to Peter and says, upon this rock I will build my church. So we see that rock. 20 is really rock. It is that foundation. It also equals foundation. The word foundation, I think we end up with 11, but 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So that's foundation. South also, of course, because you plant in the south. If you were in a garden, you plant in the ground, that would be considered south. So this too would be 20. So we can see that 7 here, of course, is also relational or has a strong correlation with 20, which is planting. This is the cycle of creation. That cycle of creation was the planting of a new era, a new thing, a new way of doing, seeing, or being. And this is what we are talking about here. So the M, that we have 2 M's here, and ending up with 7, this is really indicative that we have the 14 gods as in Genesis of chapter 1 verses chapter 1. Okay, so basically this is what we have worked out here about having those 14 gods, 9 gods in Genesis of chapter 1 and 5 gods in Genesis of chapter 2. And if you are new to this, the gods come as in words that we use every day, like created, moved, said, saw, divided, called, made, set, blessed, ended, caused, formed, breathed, and planted. These are words that we use in everyday, everyday vocabulary, and we have not been aware that each time we call on these gods, that we are eliciting their vibration. And of course, this is how we bring the gods alive, because by us calling or naming, we are vibrating that frequency. So isn't that really the thing we should do, to be aware of what we are speaking, and of course what vibrational values they have. So there we are with 20. Now another way of saying that 20 is foundation as well, which coincides with Mother Eve's 8 Latins. When we write the word 20, T-W-E-N-T-Y, We have 7, 2, 5, 5, 5. And I've always said, wherever you see all these fives, there is Mother Eve. So 15, of course, and 11 is 16. Oh, am I right? 26. 26. So 2 plus 6 equals 8. Now, this is what we are talking about. 8 is that setting, and that's what we have concluded. So far, we have done 2 presentations of the gods. That starts with the one presentation with 3 S's. The next was 3 C's, and now we've got 2 M's, and we can see of each of these presentations so far that we do end up with this 8 that we are talking about, and that's just by looking at the first letters. So of course, another way of looking at that is adding the values of the 2 M's, which is 4. 4 plus 4 is also 8. So far we had the 3 S's, which is 3, and 3 C's, 9, and then we have 8. So we have covered 3, 9, and 8. Okay. I have a feeling that we are going to end up with all the numbers as 1 to 3, 1 to 9. It'd be interesting to see that. So the S's so far is 3, this is 9, and here would be, or we haven't done, this is 8. Okay, so we haven't, let's do the B's now. The B's, I have had fun with the B's. So B is 4, of course. So 2 B's, and the B's are the breathed God, B-R-E-A-T-H-E-D, and the blessed God, B-L-E-S-S-E-D. Okay, before I move on to this, I just felt it was necessary to I did count the letters. Yes, I did count the letters of the moved God and the made God. So that was 9 letters. We had that. I like to do that to see how the numbers are resonating with us. So it's really it all adds to planting the information that require as tools or instruments to becoming that which we are meant to be. Shedding of old skin, like a snake really sheds its skin, because we are moving into a new skin. Of course, the word skin, S-K-I-N, is 5, 9, 2, 1. Adding this together, this is 14, 15, 16, 17. And this is the skin. We are moving into 8. So we are shedding of that skin and being in a new place. Okay, so do join me when we move on to looking at the word breathed and blessed. Okay, thank you. And I hope you have found this delicious, because we are planting new seeds. We are planting new ways of seeing. In fact, we are calling them now, because we are meant to have all dialogue with the called God. Thank you. Let there be light, and there was light.